husband looked at me and he goes,
"Oh my God.
Paging crazy soccer mom?"
Attention. The party is about to commence.
Welcome to the party.
What's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Glennon Doyle. Just kidding. I'm Abby Wambach.
You look just like Glennon. Abby, before we do anything, two things to check in on. Because I know that you did this as well. I moved over the weekend Izzy into her dorm, and you just moved Tish in at Berkeley. But can we just talk about that for 2 seconds? Because it was a lot. It was a lot. Overwhelming a lot. How was your experience?
Honestly, it was beautiful and it was brutal. We call it brutiful. It was. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you have and raise these children, and then you just drop them off somewhere and say, "Good luck. Hope you can do it. Hope I did well teaching you things." Bye. What the hell?
Mm-hmm. I know. How many roommates does she have?
She has 2 roommates.
Okay, so there's 3. There's 3 in her room. And how big is the dorm room? Because
it's teeny. It's teeny. I don't understand. And it's probably totally perfectly fine for them. But I'm just she has to walk down the hall. She's living in a co-ed floor. So when she goes to go brush her teeth in the morning and go to the bathroom, there are boys there. And that's great. But also it's oh my gosh. I feel a little bit oh my God. Oh. I mean, in Izzy, how many people are in Izzy's dorm?
Same. She has 2 roommates, and we walked in and she was like, "Oh, this isn't so bad." And I was thinking, oh my God, yes. I was like, way to be positive. I was thinking to myself, that's my girl. No, this isn't so bad. Gosh. But they had just piles and piles of stuff. And literally, she sent us home with a huge suitcase, like a body bag. It was bigger than me. That was okay, I guess I don't need this. And I think that's the nice thing about dorm living is you realize, okay, you have to select. Well, it's not going to fit.
You do. And Tish, the way that her school does it is you have 1 hour, and then the next hour, the next roommate comes in, and the next. So we were
stop it.
There were 5 of us in there, and we were we all were tasked with a different thing, and she did so well. And I'm thinking, how is all of this stuff going to fit in here times 3? Because they were able to communicate prior to showing up to see who's going to bring what. So I thought that was really, really cool. But did you cry? That's the biggest question. How did that?
I mean, I had already brought her up 2 months ago for soccer. So she's been there living in an Airbnb for 2 months with 9 other girls. So I think she was actually sweet. This is actually This is actually because it was a lot of people, 9 people together. So I did not cry, but I cried over the amount of stuff they had in the room, probably more than I was okay, honey, good luck. You got this.
You'll love this. Tish is her mother's daughter. And so about an hour prior to the time we were moving her in, she said, "Okay, here's the deal. I don't want you to cry while we do our goodbyes in the next, whenever that happens. But what I do want you to do is cry later and send me a video of you crying, because I want to know that you care, but I don't want you to do it in front of me, make it harder than it needs to be."
Right.
And I'm that is incredible. And so that's what we all tried to do. It didn't work out completely for every one of us, and I won't name names, but I may or may not have been
ugly
bawling while walking down the stairwell of her dorm, because I was holding it in, and then I just said, "Okay, bye," and I hauled ass out, and I got into the stairwell, and I was ugly crying on the way down, and I didn't want anybody to see me. People were passing me because only the people who were moving in for their hour slot. Hi. I was just please, please, please. It was sad, but beautiful.
I ugly bawled when I dropped her the first time 2 months ago. Yeah, I did the same thing. I got back to the hotel room, and I was
It's a weird setup. It's a weird system.
It's hard. It's hard. They have to become adults quick. It's good.
They do.
Let them fly.
Yeah.
Get them out of that nest. Let it go. Okay. The other second thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to give poll results for our debate from last week because we put that debate out there. The episode that ran on Thursday is being a professional athlete hard, yes or no? You said hella yes, hella hard. I said no, it was a gift. I felt like it was this amazing gift I got. Sure, it was demanding, but it wasn't hard. Do you want to know the final score for the party people
who could have possibly won this debate, Julie? Who could have possibly won?
I knew it was going to edge towards you. I did not think it would be a landslide. Team Abby, 78%. Team Julie, 22%. Come on.
Yes.
Oh, party people. We'll do
you.
another one and I'm winning it. So 1-0.
I love
Team
this
Abby.
little debate. That was fun. We should do these polls way more often.
It was really fun. I still have people like texting me like, we're Team Julie. I'm like, well, did you fill out the poll? Or did you just text me that? Go to the poll.
Well, interestingly enough, I've been getting texts from some of my friends, former teammates who are listening to the episodes, and whenever we mention them, it's been like really fun for them. They're like, hey, and it's so cool because they're texting and I'm like, oh my God, this is like another way to connect. Yes. I just feel grateful. Yeah. All right. So it's time to get this party started. How do you feel about that, Jules?
It's ready.
We're going to start with the highlights and headlines you'll want to celebrate this week in women's sports. Our party starter is brought to you by Ally, the bank that's your ally. Julie,
okay, let's start with WNBA playoffs. Let's give an update there. Because as we know, last week, Phoenix Mercury were taking on the reigning champs, the New York Liberty, right? And it took Phoenix. It was a slog to get through the reigning champs. 3 games, lost in overtime in that first game, but they came back in the next 2 games, knocked out New York in that opening round. Only 1 day of rest, Abby, had to take on the number 1 ranked team in Minnesota Lynx in that semifinal game on Sunday. And needless to say, the Lynx won that first game, but now it's not a 3-game series. It's a series of 5 games. So,
okay, so explain to the party people what that means. What is series, 3 series games, 5 series games?
Right. Best of 3 was the quarterfinal first round games. So if you obviously have to win 2 of the 3 to go through, this is a best of 5. So you have to win 3 of the 5 to go through. So if you win your first 3, you're done. If not, you go through 5. Another great story, the Indiana Fever. Oh my gosh. Okay, so with all of their injuries, as we know, Caitlin Clark out for the entire season, sadly. She only played in like 13 games this season. Sydney Colson is out with an ACL. Sophie Cunningham is out with an MCL. They advanced out of the first round in 3 games over the Atlanta Dream. And we're like, okay. Then in their semifinal matchup on Sunday versus Las Vegas Aces. Okay, we're going to talk about the Las Vegas Aces because they have the WNBA MVP in Asia Wilson. In their semifinal matchup at Las Vegas, you know who's not injured?
Who?
Kelsey Mitchell. 34 points for the Indiana Fever. 34 points. Had an absolute heater, and they took game 1 in Vegas against the Aces, which is crazy. So fun to watch.
I mean, sometimes all you need is somebody to get injured to get your shot. And she's shooting it. It's amazing.
She is balling, boy. So fun to see. Okay, more huge WNBA news, as I alluded to. They have the WNBA MVP was crowned on Sunday. Many thought it would be a close race between Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson. Well, not so close. Asia Wilson took 51 first-place votes versus Nafisa. She had 18 first-place votes. And so on Sunday, Asia Wilson was named WNBA MVP. First player, by the way, to win the honor 4 times. And
4 times. That's incredible.
incredible. She led the NBA, as we know, with an average of 23.4 points, 2.3 blocks. No big deal. She was also named Defensive Player of the Year on Thursday for her 3rd time in 4 seasons, beyond being the MVP, sharing the award with Alana Smith of the Minnesota Lynx. Incredible.
We got to get Asia on here, man.
Asia.
We got to get her on here.
Ballin'.
All right. So I want to go to a different sport, World Athletics Championships. American sprinter Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. She became the first woman in 40 years to break 48 seconds in the 400 meters. Okay.
Yes.
She won the 400 meters in a championship record of 47.78 seconds. And this season, which is, I think, very interesting, McLaughlin-Levrone, she stepped out of her comfort zone, focusing on the 400 meters instead of the hurdles. So, Jules, the way that I kind of think about that is like if we were to be like, you know, playing our sport soccer, playing our position, and then just being like, you know what, I'm going to go in goal and I'm going to see how this works. She just decided she was going to change her whole thing and just run the 400 instead of doing the hurdles. And she is crushing. She's crushing, obviously. And so in the semifinals.
I think of it as all of a sudden you're like, oh, you know, I run a lot on the field, so let's go try lacrosse. And then you just pick up a whole different thing. And you're like, oh, I can do that. You know, when you used to watch TV and be like, oh, I could do that Olympic sport. I could switch like that. I actually think, I wonder, why didn't you just start with the 400? It's much easier. The hurdles get in the way. It's a lot to get over. The hurdles are hard.
The hurdles are hard. And you got to get
hard.
You got to like get your steps down. You know, they only, there's like a specific amount of like steps they take in between each hurdle.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it's all dialed into like the millimeter. It's insane. All right. So
Sid is probably
next
like,
thing
why didn't I do that earlier? Get rid of those hurdles. Okay, now what's the next thing?
Next thing we want to talk about for this party starter, and you know, I am excited to announce that the Italians, they won back-to-back Billie Jean King Cups, but I'm sad because
I know I was going to say, are we that excited?
I'm excited for them, but I'm also sad for us because they won over the United States 2-0 in the final match on Sunday. The final was on the 21st and just this last weekend, and the Italian team will split $2 million among each member of the team, which is great for them. Sad for us Americans. And I'm sure, you know, Billie is having the time of her life in China. It's been a lifelong dream of hers to go to China. So I'm happy that she's there, and I'm sure she's excited for the complete success of the whole tournament overall, just because it's incredible.
And remember, it was a $7 million purse, one of the highest in women's sports. So $7 million, and the Italian team will split that $2 million among each member. That's awesome. Okay, staying on World Cups, air quotes. Women's Rugby World Cup, as we know, is happening, and we also know it's crushing attendance records in England right now. Over the weekend, Canada, who, by the way, this is so crazy, had to crowdfund their trip to the World Cup. So it was like $1 million Canadian dollars, which is equivalent to like $750,000 US dollars. They had to crowdfund. They started it last year. They knocked off the reigning champion, New Zealand, who has won 6 of the 9 World Cups. Okay. And they're on to the final where they will host the number 1 ranked team, England, who is also the host. They will play the host in England, number 1 team, on September 27th. It's showing on Paramount Plus. I hope it runs on CBS Sports as well, but for sure it's on Paramount Plus streaming. So check that out. The U.S. didn't make it out of their group stage, sadly, but it's been fun to see how well that is all going over there in England. And finally, I had to get this one in. NWSL players showing solidarity. I don't know if you saw this, Abs. I'm sure you did, with WNBA players. And do you remember the WNBA players wearing the "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts in the warm-up of the All-Star game? NWSL players showing that solidarity said, "Pay them what you owe them." Same type of shirt in their games as well, which was cool to see.
Yeah, nothing like this. Like, this is the thing that makes me love women's sports so much, is it's not just a singular sport. Like, we are all fighting for each other. supporting each other in every way. And this is just like, when I see these kinds of things, I get a little goosebumps, you know?
Agreed. I love it
All right,
so much.
you guys. So that is your party starter. And a big thank you to Ally for sponsoring this segment. And as we know, Ally is more than a bank, and their Do It Right approach helps customers unlock their economic potential and guides their efforts as a leading sponsor in women's sports. It's true. Just like us, Ally believes that when women in sports win, we all have a reason to partay.
Boom!
Ally Bank, member FDIC. I need to get a better noisemaker.
Okay.
Do you travel with that? Because Jules, I know you're traveling right now.
Yeah,
like
it's my water. It's my
What?
water dispenser too. It's a double. I
Wait.
take it to just. It's actually a. Yeah, I drink out of it. All right, Abigail, to the partiest part of the party. We chatted with our amazing friend and NBC rock star Rebecca Lowe recently about being a youth sport parent. And as Rebecca tries to navigate this confusing world. So settle in as Abby and I help a friend in need. What's up, party people? Welcome to the party. I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Abby Wambach.
So a few weeks ago, Abs and I were scrolling on Insta, and we saw a post or many posts from our pal Rebecca Lowe about the struggles, because they're real, of being a soccer mom. Teddy is 9 years old now, and all the challenges that brings. And Rebecca had a lot of questions. So we thought we should absolutely help a soccer mom out here and share our do's and don'ts of being a youth sports parent, because it is very complicated. And for those of you who aren't huge soccer fans, how dare you, first of all, or huge fans of the English Premier League, Rebecca Lowe is the host of NBC's coverage of the English Premier League, and also a daytime host for like the last, 6 Olympics. I could have that wrong, Rebecca, 6, for NBC's incredible coverage of the Olympics. And besides being really, really good at broadcasting, Rebecca Bex is also one of my favorite humans. So, Rebecca Lowe, welcome to the party!
Oh my goodness! All right, that is the best entrance to any podcast I've ever flipping done. Thank you, girls. This is amazing. So fun to be here. And I do have a lot of questions. I need a lot of help.
Okay, well, good. But before we get to your questions, Julie and I, we are going to actually share our youth sports parenting resume.
Okay.
Just to prove that.
Just to prove
we're
that
qualified.
we know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And I'll start. So aside from, playing football, as you say, soccer as we say, for 30 years, like that should just like automatically give me the qualifier and credentials to be able to talk about this. I also have a lot of experience with raising young athletes, and 2 young soccer players specifically. Now, when I first got to my little family, they were 8, 10, and 13. The girls, they were playing rec league soccer, which was great. I just felt like maybe they should just level up a little bit and get them into travel soccer. They were pretty good, and they could handle it. So we got them into travel soccer. Chase, he was a cross country runner. And just as a little background, we had one kid who, how do I explain Tish? She is a wonderful person, but she sat us down at a dinner table one day and said to Amma and I, our youngest, who also plays, she said, so when you're out on the soccer field and you are terrified and it's the most stressful thing that's ever happened to you and you're having the worst time ever and you just can't wait until it's over? It is like this open-ended question. And Amma and I look at each other and we're like, no, honey, that is not how I felt on the soccer field. And so at that point we said, maybe we should find something else for you to do.
Yeah.
So I think that is an important thing to note in terms of us knowing when to say when with some children and maybe not others. talking about Emma, our youngest. She just committed to play soccer at Santa Clara University Division I program.
Whoa!
She's going into her senior year this year. She's super excited. And I guess like the point of me telling you this is that we have two very different soccer player kids that ended up taking different paths. And that is also okay, especially because Glennon asked and has asked Emma 1 million times if she wants to quit and stop playing, because she's worried that maybe that Emma thinks that we want her to play for some weird reason. Like it's something having to do with us. So that's my background credentials here. I don't know if
what does Emma say to that when she asks her 1 million times, does she want to keep playing?
She looks at Glennon like she has 10 heads. She's like, what are you talking about, Mom? Like, shut up. You know, she would never say shut up. Yeah, she would never say shut up. She's thinking it though. I know she is.
Okay, so Bex, my Izzy, who is 18, just started playing at the University of Oregon. She's playing there. And so I literally just dropped her, recently, a month ago. And it's crazy because recruiting, the whole recruiting process is not for the weak. Oh my God. Okay, Abs, you just went through all of it, but oh my gosh. When she finally signed that letter of intent and she was going to Oregon and all of that, I was like, I turned to Declan, our younger son, and I said, you're going to have to quit all of sports. I'm not doing this again. Like, we are done. He's a basketball, football player. I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do it. And I mean, I know there's parents out here listening to that who know exactly what I'm talking about. And we deserve a damn medal, I feel like, for being a youth sports parent. And look, I get with the best of intentions, we want the best for our kids. And we've been stuck into this really complicated, messy system. But I also feel like we need to go over the do's and don'ts, because we parents actually do a really good job of sucking the joy out of it for our kids, so that they don't love it anymore. I mean, there's already all this built-in pressure. And so that's why we're like, we need to do a do's and don'ts with Rebecca to go over this.
And you need to start me early. Like, you guys are like ahead of me with this, and you're in college situations. Teddy is 9, so I need some stuff now, guys. This is like an SOS.
We got you. You. Don't worry. We got you.
All right.
I mean, we actually tell me when I can ask my first question, because I have to. and also, some of them are minor, but they're major to me. But some of them are like small. Like, I do need to talk about snacks. Can we talk about snacks at some point?
We can.
Because I went and got a lot of pirate booty today at Paris.
We'll get there.
You don't have to go healthy on snacks. I think that's bullshit.
The email said different.
Yeah, I don't
and
subscribe to that.
Go against the email?
Abs, my theory on snacks was I brought donut holes. So I was loved because they're small and bite-sized. They're easily transportable, and they give you a little pop of energy, right? Like, a good donut hole is good for you. I used to pound big cinnamon rolls bigger than my head before I played soccer.
Prior to games, the women's national team, they would just have a table of food, right? And you got your PB&J, which is like probably like the most nutritious and dense to get in before the game, and then candy. So just so you know, just having that like shot of sugar right before you go out is actually good for you. I mean, maybe not like the red dyes and all of that stuff. Like, I'm not subscribing to that, but
I don't know. I don't want
does the email say like
it must myself?
Does the email say it must be healthy and
it talks about no, it doesn't say. It tells me. So I need to buy. So hang on. So this is just to everyone in the picture here. We're talking about cross country now, because just to say, Teddy started cross country last week. So I'm no longer just a soccer mum. I'm now cross country mum. And when I went to cross country this week to watch him train, an email afterwards saying, okay, we have 4 meets, which, by the way, is that the shortest season of all time? 4, like, literally
I love
4
that.
Runs.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And please sign up on the Sign Up Genius. Honestly, if I had $1 for every Sign Up Genius. Anyway, so on the Sign Up Genius, I'm there trying to be the best mum. The apps. Oh, the apps. My play metrics got sport. I mean, I could go down the whole
Sports
list.
engine, team snap. You go down the list.
Team snap. Oh
League
my
app.
God.
League apps.
Also, I can't remember any of my passwords for play metrics, and then it's locking me out, and now it doesn't recognize my face. And anyway, so I went, and so the email comes about cross country, and it says for the meets, can you please sign up? So I'm signing up. I'm thinking I'll just bring anything. They're like, no, we need 10 packs of Pirate Booty, 10 packs of pretzels, 10 packs of Capri Sun. I'm not quite sure that's particularly healthy, but who cares?
Yeah, this is a full meal. This is not a snack. This is a 5-course meal.
And this is for, I think it's for the finish line, but I don't know. So I've gone to Costco. I've got literally everything off the shelves. But I did also see some like really cute little cookies. And I thought, am I allowed to do that? Are you allowed to go off email?
Yes.
Yeah, you're allowed. You're allowed.
Totally.
And also, I just want to say...
You're Rebecca Lowe. You go off email.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, I kind of love the directness and the exactness of the snack approach here because I don't want to have to make a decision. I just want somebody kind of to tell me. And if I want to throw some cookies in there, you get to go ahead and do that. Right? That's how you throw your own flair into it.
Okay,
we
so
like
your
direct.
own stamp, put your own identity on it. Okay, so we want direction with a little bit of flexibility. Okay.
Exactly.
So
right, fine.
With our do's and don'ts, I figured that maybe we should whiteboard this.
Oh my God.
Yes, please.
What do you got, Abs? What's your first do?
Number one, and I knew your kid was a little bit younger, Rebecca, so I really kind of try to think about what I would do if I were starting out or in your literal shoes or boots.
Okay.
My number one do is get them into multiple sports young. And so here you are, cross country. Yes, in my experience, the only reason, and this is a true story, like we can talk about all the research, which points to multiple sports being really important for us as like people and human beings long term. But for me and in my personal experience, I never would have been as good as I was as a soccer player had I not played basketball growing up. Think about every time I have to go up and get a rebound, every time I have to go up and grab a ball, that was helping me learn how to jump so that I could become the header that I became on the national team. So that is my first do. Get them into multiple sports young and do it now.
I like that.
Here's my question. The only way Teddy could do cross country is because training is before school. Because he's in comp soccer. We're basically talking like 5 days a week soccer. So if he turned around tomorrow and said, I want to do basketball, I don't think there's a literal time in the week. So that's part of this problem.
I know,
you're right,
it is.
You want to do multiple things, but it's hard to do multiple after school things, isn't it?
Yes.
That's hard.
And
That's hard.
especially when you get into high school, I tried for Declan is in high school and he's still doing basketball and football both, but it's a lot. But there's less club involved in that. With soccer, Izzy tried to do soccer and volleyball going in. And so you have your soccer club practices still going. You have your soccer practice at high school. You have your volleyball club practice and your volleyball practice at high school. So she was like playing 4 sports at one time. I was like, can someone stop? Someone needs to realize that this doesn't need to be year round. But the problem is, as we know, Bex, you have to keep charging the money to get them to keep playing and to pay your coaches and all that thing.
This is why I have so many questions, because coming from England, where I would play field hockey once a week for an hour and nobody would be watching and no one would give 2 hoots what the hell I was doing, and then netball for half an hour on a Wednesday, that would be it in terms of school sports. That doesn't exist in England. So I am like navigating this world from an English perspective where like no one cares about youth sports, in a world now where this country is obsessed with their children, which I don't hate, but they're obsessed with their children and they're obsessed with youth sports. This is like, this is a dangerous world for me right now. Like entering it now as this little English person, just no idea what is going on. So this is honestly, this whiteboard is just giving me a lot of life. Okay, so
next one for me. My first do's.
Yeah.
Stop talking. That's to you parents. Stop talking. Okay? And now
that's quite hard.
It's really hard. And I'm just saying.
You mean like I agree. You mean like the screaming on the sides?
Yes, the screaming on the sides. It's so bad. And
can we do? Okay, well, hang on. When you say stop talking, are we allowed to be like, go on, Ted? Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is what I think, because this is also in my don'ts column. Don't yell, right? Don't yell. Yep. So, and it's also in my do column. Positive cheering only and no instruction. Just like, good job. Way to go. Okay. Keep going.
or like
Yay.
team related, right?
Yay!
Let's go Green Machine.
Yeah.
Right?
I love
Pink
America. God, I
butterflies,
love
you're
America
the best.
so much. You guys, I mean, honestly, this is why I love this country.
But never
like,
to
just
your
that.
kid. Do not. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of the videos with kids talking about like, hey, what's the one thing you want to tell your parent about youth sports? And they're basically like, shut up. Stop talking, please.
Yes.
Yes, all of
Yes.
them. Stop
Yeah.
talking.
All right, Jules, what do you miss the most about soccer?
Good question. Two things.
Mm.
The people. Always the people.
Mm.
My teammates, like you. But also the other thing is seeing the world. I mean, think about all the cool places we got to go to. Even if my mom thought I was in Bolivia, I was actually in Bulgaria. But she never knew where I was. Cyprus,
know.
Greece, Mom, not Cyprus, Florida. But like that was the really cool thing is we got to travel everywhere.
It's true. And somebody paid us to do that. Like that, it just
know, right?
blows my mind. To
Yeah.
have a job, to be able to travel, to see the world, you know, we saw so many unexpected things, you know?
Favorite place?
I mean, Portugal, Algarve Cup.
Samesies.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Where, like, why was the Algarve Cup?
Oh
the
my
best?
gosh, because you ate crepes all day, you played golf all day, maybe which is why we probably never won the Algarve Cup.
We stopped
you were-
playing golf by the time my generation came
You
around.
were banned from it because
Yeah.
we never won.
Yeah, we played
Literally-
soccer is what we did.
We did not. We were like, wait, are we here for soccer? What are we here for? Are we
Did
here
you-
for soccer? We did you do the pottery shopping all the time?
Yes, pottery shopping.
I still have all these
food.
plates.
The Indian
Yeah.
food
Oh,
was the best
yes.
Indian food I've ever had to this day.
Best. In the crepes, literally, I got obsessed with, I'm going to start a crepe store in America. I had a name for it, the Crepes of Wrath.
That's
Is
good.
that so good,
That's
right?
so good.
I had a name for it. I was going down the whole road of like, why don't we have these crepe stores in America? Anyways, Portugal. But the thing you realize pretty quickly, and I don't know about you, but hotels, we stayed in a lot of hotels, and hotels, as nice as they can seem, like you don't have a space where you can gather. And I love the idea, which is what I love now is the idea of a house, right? Where you're actually, and it's what I love about the homes on Airbnb, where you can have a place to gather. You can cook. You can, you don't have to spend $700 on breakfast, right?
Yes.
You have it right there. So, and it's not just a place to crash. It's a gathering place, which is what I love about it.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's like so important, the space thing. You know, we traveled so much and we just had a room, you know, and when you're traveling and you're finding these beautiful homes on Airbnb that have the space, and also I snore a little bit, and so it's important for me to have a possible, like maybe another room to venture into during the night. And while you can book a place with Airbnb, it's always going to be a little bit more unique. You can decide it's going to be a little bit more of you, you know? That's why I love staying in Airbnbs now, especially with our big family. It's just like the home away from home vibes that we're searching for.
Well, and I like it because we can stay with a lot of families. So we get big Airbnbs and we can have it. And it's a true big old welcome to the party episode. But what's crazy is I think back to all those years we were traveling with the national team.
Yeah.
And I think back, we could have, because our houses were sitting empty, we could have actually been hosting our homes on Airbnb while we were away and help paying for that dream trip. Why did we not think like that?
Well, Airbnb wasn't existing back when we played. That's probably why. And I think that if like you're concerned about the extra work to manage those properties, just trust me, I get it. And that would be like the first holdup for me too. But Airbnb co-host network, you can find a local co-host to help you with all the details. They make it super easy. And when you go travel, you can make some money.
Yeah. And if you are worried about managing reservations or maybe even messaging guests, that's where the co-host can give you that on-site support. So you don't have to stress about all that stuff.
Which means You get to be out there traveling, playing, my favorite, getting lost in a new city.
Buying pottery.
Yes. And your home is still working for you in the background.
It's kind of genius. You're making memories on the road while you're having peace of mind back home. So find a co-host at airbnb.com/host.
I've broken this up into 2 parts, actually, because I think it's very important what we say to our children prior to dropping them off and then post in the car ride home. Because these are the moments, especially when they're young and they're not driving, in the pre-game or pre-practice car ride to practice, right? It's good to start talking about, and I think that this is really important because so much focus, especially in America, is like, did you win or did you lose? And for me and our family, we always focused on like, what is a special win that you are hoping to look for during this practice or during this game? Okay. A lot of times it's mostly just during games because practice, you don't really like, that's their play time. Like you don't want to like set up any instructions. So when we would go to games, like, hey, I'd be really curious that like what you might think somebody's special win is. And this is something you have to prep them for. And then eventually you can just ask them post game. So meaning like, for an example, that has nothing to do with a win or a loss.
So it's not an outcome. It's like a personal or team win.
Yeah, exactly. What did you see out there today that was like a special win that was important that had nothing to do with the scoreline, right?
Yeah.
Like, so did you see your teammate cheering? Did you pick up the cones for your coach without being asked? Did you see somebody do something special that had nothing to do with the outcome? So it's like figuring out how to de-emphasize the outcomes of winning and losing and overemphasize the acts of leadership that I think special wins are big for.
Yes.
Put it on the whiteboard. Put it on the whiteboard, Jules. Side question to that, Abby. You were just talking there, Abby, quickly about dropping off and picking up. Can I just ask a question? Are we supposed to go to every practice?
No, that is actually on my don'ts list.
Yeah.
Do not go to the practices and watch your children. This is their time.
Ever. But Abby, what?
I would even add, you don't have to go to all the games.
Mom. Well, I can't go to all the games, right? Because I'm at work. So I go to the practices because I don't get to go to as many games as I would like. Like I probably go to 1 in every 4 because I'm at work on the weekends. So I'm like, well, I'm a bad mom if I also don't go to practices. So I'm there with my little rocky chair and then I'm in amongst all the parents and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, so they've gone to every practice and they've gone to the games. And then I'm like, okay, so should I not? Are you serious? I shouldn't go to
no practice because just think about this, okay?
Can you imagine
think
how
about
much
this.
time I'm going to get back in my life? Okay,
yes.
Go.
Think about this. Practice. What is the purpose of practice? It is not it's not for the kid to look over their shoulder and make sure that their mom or dad or parent is sitting on the sideline watching them. Practice is for free play for them. That there is nothing that's going to encumber them from trying something new, taking a risk, making a mistake, trying something, being successful. Because what we're then doing is we're externalizing all of our motivation. Like, oh, I'm only going to do this because I am now looking over to the sidelines and I see my mom looking at me and being proud. And then it becomes this thing that becomes very difficult to actually curate in yourself to have internal motivation because we want our kids to be self-starters and internally motivated. So if you're at practice, it outsources that motivation, if that makes sense.
Which kind of tells me that not a lot of things 30 years were better than they are now, but that was better because literally I didn't have a single person ever watch me at a practice or even a game in terms of my parents. I never thought anything of it. Just it was my life. I just get on with it. And actually, you're right. I had to find ways out of things on the field and off the field that I never even told them about. And so it was you're absolutely right. Self-starters, self-sufficient, get yourself out of situations. Yeah, okay. So what do I do with my new 17 hours a week that I'm going to have on my hands?
Is that like not the most liberating thing? My parents, by the way, and games, you missing games, Rebecca, do not stress about that. My parents never came to a game. And literally my husband at one point was like, when I was traveling a lot, he'd be like, "You're missing another game?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And it's okay. It's okay for them not to see us there. It's for them, to Abby's point. Like, they need to be the ones. When my parents would come to games, people would be like, what are your parents doing here? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because I get
That's
that.
weird.
Jules, I get the thing that when I come to a game, I get the, oh, you're here. Oh, you're here this week. Like I'm this absent mum that doesn't pay because everyone else goes to every single. And you know what we had a few weeks ago?
It's too much.
We had the first tournament. Now, the tournament situation is another world. We all had to go to Davis, California, right? We had a game. I mean, you guys have lived this. I mean, what am I saying? But 9 a.m. game and then flipping 4 p.m. game. So we're all going for pizza, right? At lunchtime, going for pizza. There's a lot of hours here. There's a lot of socialization I do not have the mental capacity for. I mean, are we okay to miss the pizza between game 1 and game 2?
Absolutely.
We have to go with it.
You set the parameters, Rebecca. You, sister, set the parameters. Okay.
But here's the thing. Actually, just real quick. Just throw Teddy in a car with somebody else and say, you go get pizza. Because it's for them, it's about them connecting with their teammates, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just send them away and with somebody else to do that.
Okay. My number 2.
I mean, whoever they are. Yeah.
Yeah, Jules, what's your number 2?
My number 2 do's. Yeah. Smile. This is for parents. Smile and take a breath. Right? It is important. This is for the coach as well, for you coaches listening. Like, it's important for them to see that you're enjoying it. Because what happens on the sidelines when you look around, right? Sorry, I got to flash my board. I don't know what's wrong with my setup today. If you're looking around and you look at the parents, they are intense. They're stressed. They're screaming. Like, then what is that saying to your kid? You too should be stressed and intense. And so we want to just take that pressure off. Just smile. Take a breath.
So this is making me think of another thing then, right?
Yeah.
So when I do get to go to a game, which by the way, I'm not going to go to anymore, but when I do get to go, no, I am. But when I do get to go to a game, I get nervous. Is that crazy that I'm nervous?
Yeah.
It is crazy, isn't it? Did you get nervous?
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because you're feeling that way.
He's 9.
And here's the thing, like, a solution to the stop talking, take a breath, smile, right? Like, for example, and I think this is brilliant. Glennon is so brilliant, right? But Glennon's theory with stop talking, because it's so hard not to project that emotion and excitement of like, I want my kid, it's for the best of intentions. I want my kid to do well. I want her to do well. I want him to do well. Is put a lollipop in your mouth and you'll stop. Right? And that's Glennon's suggestion of just
bring some lollies.
Yeah, bring some lollies or hand out lollies to parents
who are
talking too much, right?
Oh
like,
my God,
here's a lollipop for
lady.
Yeah.
I'm going to become the lollipop lady at soccer press. Amazing.
Well,
great shout.
Well, I just want to like really talk about this because this is like the biggest problem on the sidelines, right? The parents
I just laughed so hard I got a cramp in my belly, actually. She said she was going to become the lollipop lady.
The yelling and the taking the joy out of it and yelling at the referee and yelling at other players on other teams. Like, parents they're bonkers. It's unbelievable. It is important to think about what the children on the field are experiencing, because this helps me kind of get into myself when because I'm a competitor. I'm like, oh, I want to win. I want our team to win. And I want my kid to do, not do well. I don't even care if they do well. It's just like, I want them to think that they've done well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so when you're on the sidelines and you are starting to experience some of this emotion that's coming out on the outside, the reason why it needs to be so positive rather than negative is because be in the shoes of your kid. Right? Mm-hmm. If you are yelling, if you're yelling things to the ref or to your kid or to God forbid a different player that is not your child on your on the same team as your kid or on a different team, God forbid you yell at those kids. What that is doing to your child is it's confusing them more because they have coaches that are yelling instructions to them based on what they've been doing at practice. And if you haven't been at practice, which we are requiring you and saying you should not go to, then you don't know what the coaches are saying. Yeah. You don't know what they've been working on, which is good because it's your child's life and their experience. but it's so confusing to have another person, and they've been groomed to listen to this one voice their whole life. This is a unique opportunity to give somebody else some authority in your child's life rather than it being or coming just from you. It is really important for us to give these kids an outlet or a place to have other mentors, other people that can guide them through. And if you're yelling, then you are taking it away from the coach. You're taking it away from the other teammates who are ideally over time, they're going to be communicating with each other. And your kid has now got 6 different voices in their head. And then the parent is yelling. It's confusing. So stop it.
So stop.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Abby, I'm stopping it. No, I haven't been that parent.
Stopping it.
Lollipop lady over here. No, I have to say, just going to stick up for myself very briefly. I haven't done any of that because one of my pet hates is the telling them to pass, like, oh, so-and-so's open, pass to him. Leave your child alone, because this is again the generational thing, is that this generation of us, I feel like we have been told we have to do everything for our child. We literally have to do everything for them. No. Nobody did anything for me, and I'm absolutely fine. And if you're telling your child who to pass to on the field of play, leave them alone. No,
right?
You're absolutely right. No, I know. Why do you think you
are
also
you tempted
know what's
to?
a better pass? No, never. No, I'm never.
You're not.
The only
Okay,
thing
Bex.
the only thing I promise you, Jules, the only thing I do,
because I was tempted.
Like, go on, Ted. No, I wasn't. Also, I've also never played the game, so I haven't got a clue who to pass to.
Wait,
but I would never tell him who to pass to.
Yes, you do know the game. I hear you every week.
But
my first game with Izzy, I was sitting on the sidelines. Okay, with the best of intentions, I try and kind of move to the end of the sidelines to like stay away from the masses in terms of like just the energy, because that gets you into it too much too. And it was like a little scrum, she was playing for the Blue Lightnings, and I go, and the ball popped out, and it popped to Izzy outside of the scrum, and I go, Izzy, you take that ball and you run. It came out. I was like, and my husband looked at me and he goes,
oh my God.
Paging crazy soccer mom? What is that?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I don't know where that came from. You take that ball and you run.
You were. I feel like you have had that moment in a game before where the ball's broken and you've had space, and you were probably just because you were like, I'm gonna get that ball, I'm gonna run, and so all you knew was to just tell her to do the same thing. I think that's totally fair. I
needed the lollipop lady in that moment.
Jules, I give you a little bit of a pass. You've learned from your mistake there, because when we're on the field, we're instructing each other like that. We're like, go, let's go, get the ball, let's go, right? Like you're telling me like, mode. Go, run. Yeah, exactly. So I get it. But then it's so good that you have, your husband sitting there holding you accountable. Like this is another thing that I think is really important, that like get a friend on the team.
Yeah.
Talk to your spouse if you have a spouse, another parent on the team, that you guys can collaborate with each other rather than doing it externally. So it can be whoever you're sitting by, like you can talk to each other under your breath, where nobody else is hearing. It's just you and your person, or you and your somebody else on the team, that you can actually get a little of that out so that you're not doing it to the kids.
That's a great shout. And Abby, I'm lucky enough to be married to a former pro. So he, at the beginning, when Teddy first started playing, he did say to me, knowing the person I am, he did say to me, you're actually not allowed to talk at all. And I was like, no, that's actually not fair. He's like, no, like nothing. He said, let's start at nothing and let's see how we go. And I'm like, that's out of order. Okay. I'm like, I'm fine with that. And then, of course, after a couple of games, I was like, nice pass, Teddy. And he's like, what are you doing? Nothing? Like, actually? So over the last 3 years, I have crept from nothing to a little bit of encouragement. But I have literally the beady eyes next to me of Mr. Paul Buckle, who will turn around to me and be like, what are you doing? Okay, sorry. So I've got that person.
Football.
Everyone needs it. Everyone needs it. You're absolutely right.
I love it.
Keep accountable. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have
Jules,
another
do?
one more. Yeah, I have another do, a post-game do. It's an important one because I really think that a lot of parents don't know what to say post-game.
Yes. Tell me what
they
to
don't
say.
know what
I
to
just
say.
say, did you have fun? So did you have fun? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. So
That's
I've got two things that are musts, and I actually think that are kind of onlys. Like the
I'm just
only
gonna start
things that
making
you
some
say.
notes.
Write this down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1,
Yeah.
I got you back.
I love watching you play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a really nice one.
Number
Okay.
2,
Yeah.
did you have fun? Was that fun for you out there? Right?
Yeah.
And as they get older, because we do, right? They get older, we get older as parents. I think that you have to also know your kid. So in order for this to really become a thing, you got to know the kind of kid you've got. In our family, we call this blame, shame, or claim, because inevitably after the game on the ride home, there will have been something that happened during the game that your kids got a gripe over, right? That they're upset about, that they've got a vent over. Let them vent, right? Let them get it out. Over time, you will kind of see if your kid is the kind of kid who's going to blame, who's going to go into a shame spiral, or who's going to claim some responsibility in it, right?
Ooh,
And the
are
goal,
there any kids that I'm feeling like there's not many kids that claim that
yeah. Here's the thing about this exercise. Is
Teddy
that
at 9 years old is not a claimer yet.
Yeah,
he ain't claiming.
not yet, but
Yet.
inevitably, if they really start to honor and harness the idea of what it is to be on a team,
Yeah.
the idea that the getting to the claim is like varsity level, right? That is a kid who is probably going to maybe make it to those next levels, but they have to be taught this exercise.
Okay.
So we had a child that was oftentimes going into a big shame spiral, right? And sometimes on the field, she would make a mistake, go into a shame spiral, and then start externally blaming her teammates.
Yeah, you start pointing.
And so I had to have a conversation with her. Like, hey, I just want to let you know what I'm noticing. I have no judgment here, but I'm just letting you know what I'm noticing. And one of these things, it's a vulnerability, right? So as you get older on the soccer pitch as a player and a veteran player and in the national teams and maybe D1 college, when you make a mistake, what's the first thing you say, Jules?
Why did you
My
F
bad?
up?
No, when I make a mistake.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so I've made an errant pass. It's like, my
All
bad.
good,
You
all
hold your
good,
hand out.
all good,
My
yeah.
bad. Yeah, my bad.
As opposed to saying, "Where were you?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a psychological shift that is, I think, very important. So blame,
Love that.
shame,
Love that.
claim.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. My third dues,
Yeah.
Beck and party people, is one that I still talk about. This is going to be a common thread you have to always bring up. That the North Star and why we're doing this is joy. Because again, the way the system is set up, I do feel like there's just so much pressure on these kids. The parents add to it unknowingly, unintentionally, with the best of intentions, we add to it. The coaches don't manage it well. And so you just have to constantly be reminding your kid, why are we doing this? We're doing this because it's fun. And if it's not fun, then do something else. I had that conversation all the time with Izzy and Declan of like, let's just like step away for a second and like get some perspective. Let's remember.
But I do think being children of you two, and to a certain extent a child of my husband too, having been a pro, I do think that's quite difficult for the child. I mean, you're absolutely right, by the way, 100% right. But I think if you're the son or daughter of a former professional soccer player and you're playing soccer, it's even more important, isn't it? Because Paul always says, he's always like, he doesn't have to play soccer. He really doesn't have to. And we often, we often go the other way. We're like, you sure you want to go? He'll test him and be like, do you want to go practice today or do you want to stay home? Mm-hmm. You want to rest or you want to watch TV or you want to go to practice? Because he's so concerned that just because he was a player, just because you guys were players, your children don't have to be players. So I think that's even more important, isn't it? That we double check that they are happy because we don't want them to feel like under pressure to do what we did just because we did it.
Yeah. And we had And as you were saying too, like we had conversation after conversation of, you don't have to play soccer, right? You don't have to do this, but like find a sport, because sports are so good for you in life. Find a sport you love. There's a million different sports out there. It doesn't need to be soccer.
And this is like this is on one of my to-do lists, to do, or just do's. Let your kid lead, right? This is all about being in conversation with your kid. They're the ones who have to lead the ship. They're the ones, I sat down with my kid early days and I was like, look, this does not affect my life in any way, shape, or form. I have my career. That's mine. You have your experience. This is yours, right? So what we're going to sit down and do, I'm going to tell you what my roles and responsibilities are. I'm going to drive you to practice. I'm going to pay for you. I'm going to help you organize in the early years, but you're the one. I'm not going to be the one that drives this, because I don't want to be the one that you think is making you or forcing you to play this sport. I do not care. So what you need to be doing is, before practice, you need to get your whole practice outfit ready. You need to get your cleats sorted out. You need to make sure your shin guards are in the right place. You need to get your water. I'm not going to be doing this stuff for you, because do I want to take all of my time?
It would be a lot easier if you didn't play, to be quite frank. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
so it's not, we're not doing it for us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think you got to let them lead and then be in communication. That is one of the things that I don't think a lot of people do, is to open up lines of communication forever around what their status is, how are they feeling. Like, there's going to be days and weeks and sometimes months where it's hard. It's hard, sure. But is it the right kind of hard or the wrong kind of hard? And you let them lead. And if you let them lead, then when you're sitting on the sidelines, you have a detachment. So you're not as inclined to think, oh, this kid, this is now a symbol or emblematic or a show of me in any way, because it has nothing to do with you as a parent. It has everything to do with them.
Love it. Okay. Yes. Don'ts.
Yeah, don't.
Don'ts, Bex. Don'ts. Abby gave one of don't go to practices, which you already talked about. You don't have to go. You also, one of my don'ts, which was hers, is don't talk outcomes, right? It's not about winning and scoring and all those things. It's about enjoying the process and growth mindset, right? What did we learn? What was fun about today's practice? Instead of, the first question a lot of parents want to go to is, well, we should be beating that team. We're better than that team. God. Or, how did we let in all these goals? Like, obviously, in the moment, you want to maybe share that with a parent next to you, but not with your kid, right? Like, so taking away the outcome, I think is huge.
I think parents have to make it a lesser part of their life.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that you just said, oh, maybe turn to your neighbour and say, like, how have we let in so many goals? They're 9. Who cares why they let in so many goals?
Yes.
Why is that important in your life? Like, you, as 44-year-old women like me, I've got a load of stuff going on, right? I don't really care that they've conceded 9 goals. I don't need to ask my neighbour, like, geez, what happened to the defence today? Then it's not Liverpool. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? So that goes back to being at every practice, being at every game, being at every single moment. Like, I don't think we need to make it that big a part of our grown-up lives. Like Abby said, it's theirs anyway. It's not ours, it's theirs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So make it a smaller thing in our lives. Smaller. Let's make it
100%. And a really easy way to do this is on my don't list. And there was an unofficial research project that was done at my college over the years of the soccer camps that they did during the summer times. They surveyed all of the campers over like a 20-year period. And the question was, who would you prefer drive you home from a game? And unequivocally, the answer was always my grandparents. And it's because the grandparents have a unique detachment from these outcomes that parents are so fucking obsessed with, right? Like that it is somehow a reflection of me as a parent, of me and the athlete that maybe I used to be, of how much I might have played with this kid in the backyard growing up. Like our children's experience in a sport, whatever sport it may be, has literally nothing to do with us. And if we can have that distance, then those car rides home can be, hey, you want to go get an ice cream cone? Hey, I love watching you play. Hey, that was so fun. Did you have a good time? And that be, and then let them lead the conversation.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. The problem is like all my grandparents are in England, so I've got to find some of the grandparents if they can chip in with some of these
stand-ins.
Along those same lines is don't let a team or sport take over your life. I mean, it's the same thing. Like we get so attached that we cancel all vacations. We cancel all trips. It's like, no, I got a showcase or I got a ID camp or I've got a, and I'm like, what are we doing? I was like, no, we are not subscribing to that.
Yeah.
Jules, I heard somebody on a podcast the other day say they look back at and their kids are gone now, they're at college, but they look back at their life and they realise how many things they missed because they were in a Best Western in flipping Fremont, California on Thanksgiving night, scraping around for some turkey.
Yeah,
like Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And actually, we have so far, again, we're absolutely not saying we're perfect, but luckily, as I say, married to somebody who is from your guys' world, so he's like you in this. We've pulled Teddy out of games because he also doesn't believe they should be playing as much as they're playing. So 2 games on a Saturday and 1 on a Sunday. What is going on? No, but they do that at Barcelona? No, they don't. Not that we're Barcelona, but you know what I mean. So he's like, you're not playing both those games. Your little legs, and you're growing and you're having growth spurts.
Your little legs.
And then your little legs, the little chicken legs running around. So you're not having that game. You're just going to play 1 game and that's enough because guess what? Let's go swimming. Let's go and get ice cream. Let's go and do some errands. Let's go and be bored. Should we be bored? So thank God, I am at least kept in line by somebody who is just like you guys. And he's like, no, we are not letting football dictate the next 10 years of our life. We are going on vacations.
And it's hard. It is so hard to get to that point. Hard. And people will say, oh, well, that's because you guys did it at the level you did it and your kid's going to be fine. But no, you can take ownership of this. I'm telling you right now, party people, you can take ownership of deciding this is important to my kid. Yes. Right. But also giving them some perspective. They're not just soccer players or basketball players or volleyball players. Right. Like there's so much more to life beyond just identifying as an athlete. And that's healthy.
Make it more normal.
Yes.
Make it more normal to miss games and make it more normal to miss practices. We're not saying we're not committed. You've got to learn commitment. Yes, you can sign up for something, we do it. But it doesn't mean that you have to do every single second of every tournament in every far-flung town and every single practice every week. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're done. Maybe you're having a bad week. It's actually fine to do something else.
Amen to this.
Yes.
I have a don't that I think is very important. And Jules, I don't know if you will agree with this or not, but don't ever talk bad about a teammate or a coach.
Yes. I have had that conversation so many times.
Because it is going to come up in the conversations with your kids because inevitably there's going to be some sort of drama, right? With the coach or with the teammates or with so-and-so said something or other or did something or didn't pick me or whatever it might be. We want to protect our kids so much, and that instinct is good. But what they are learning in terms of navigating the relationships with their teammates and their coach, by the way, is one of the most important elements of playing sports. That is one of the things that when they go off, because every athlete retires at some point, and when they go off into their normal life and do their life for forever, one of the most important things that sports gives us is the ability to learn how to navigate difficult conflicts or difficult relationships or just relationships in general. And what we do is when we step in and we call the coach and say, my kid isn't playing and he should or she should be playing, like you are now taking away that power from your kid and you're taking it yourself. For whatever reason, for importance or for caretaking, a way that you think that you're helping your kid, you are actually not helping your kid. You're making your kid more reliant on you over time. And what sports has such a beautiful job doing is that it makes your kids more independent and more able to actualize things that happen in their life for good or bad. So don't talk shit about teammates or coaches ever. Just let them vent. Period.
100%. Slow clap for Abby. for that one. So good. So good.
I love it. I love it.
So good. I had, one of my last ones was you don't feel the need to go to every single game, but we've already talked about that.
I just want to retouch on that. Can I just double check with you? This doesn't have to make the edit. But a purely selfish question, right? Just from my perspective, as a working mum that works weekends, I just want to double check. Like, is that not a little bit like, if I don't go to anything, and except for one game every 2 months, because that's all I can get to because of Premier League, like,
yeah, that's hard.
I feel like in 2025, that's like, I almost might have the social services come around. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be like, what are you doing? Sitting at home, just like having a cup of tea? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's hard for me to get the guilt that if I don't go to, it's not like I'm working during the week. So I'm not going to this practice and I'm literally going to Target, like, and then I go and pick up. I will do it. If you think I should really do, like I really shouldn't go to anything, I just want
your situation's different, Rebecca. That if you're not able to go to any of the games, I think that yes, absolutely, you can show up at practices. Yeah,
one practice.
I would give you a couple more because you never get to see him play, and I get that.
So I'll try for a Tuesday only, and we'll see how we get on. If I sneak a Thursday, I sneak a Thursday, but we'll try for a Tuesday only. Okay, God. Okay.
Oh,
I got a lot of free time.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Rebecca,
I have a question. Yes. So we got to talk about the paraphernalia. So if and when I do go to a game, right? I turned up the other day. I literally have one of those flipping. How heavy are those chairs? Do they need to be that heavy? The ones that open up when you've got a drink situation. Now I don't have the one with the roof, which people tell me I need a roof.
The roof.
Because if I don't have a roof on the chair, then I'm getting sunburn, and there's not often a lot of shade in these places. So then I bought an umbrella, but of course Amazon have lost it somewhere in the distant part. I don't know where it is. So my umbrella's not arrived. I have a chair with no roof, so I've got to find shade. Or I could share the tent we're bringing tents. We are, you know what we're doing? And this is probably what you guys do, so I'm probably preaching to the converted. But we turned up at this tournament, and it was like a military operation. So they lined up our team lined up all of our tents behind the people who were already watching their kid. We're waiting. Final whistle. Okay, troops, let's go. We're now lifting tents and we're moving them forward. And I'm like, and all I'm doing is just walking under, like, oh,
elbows
good job,
up.
guys, good job. I'm not helping. I'm like, which bit am I holding? I don't know. So I'm just walking through with my little, thanks so much. So I'm sitting like that. Anyway, so then we're bringing out a barbecue. We're now grilling burgers. The game is 45 minutes long. I don't need a burger. Why are we grilling a burger by the side of the field? So, and then there's all sorts of coolers with people, like tons of drinks and snacks. Is that for me? Am I allowed a snack? Am I allowed a drink? Is that just for the child? What's happening? So there's so much going on. Like
you're like looking in the cooler.
I'm 100%. This looks nice. Is that for me? Is that for the parents? Is that for the children? And then you, of course, the wagons. I think this is what Instagram, the wagon situation, wagon gate, as I'm calling it. Everyone has a wagon. And I'm like there with 10 things that I'm carrying thinking, do I need a wagon? That is so un-English, a wagon. Like, we don't even have wagons. Like what? So I've got a wagon. My friend's given me, and not only have I got a wagon, it's flipping double layered, by the way. It's double flipping layered. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks' time with my double.
You've got a tiered wagon.
It's tiered. I'm going to bring the cat. I'm going to bring the dog.
Is it electric? Is it electric, the wagon?
I bloody hope so. I mean,
it's like remote controlled.
Yeah, they have them. I've seen them.
That would be unbelievable. Shut up. No, I've got a horrible feeling. This one is a pulley one, and I'm going to be pulling along. I just feel like I got a long 10 years ahead of me, and I'm a little bit envious of where you guys are. I got to be honest. And if we could make this a regular check-in on how I'm doing, I would really appreciate that.
Oh my God, this is going to be a recurring episode
for sure.
Bex, you just got yourself into this. You are coming back to the party, Bex. You are going to be like,
yes!
No, why did I say that? Julie picked up. I just want to review. I don't know if you can see it, but we'll put it up there. But we've got it. Mm-hmm. The do's, the don'ts.
You can see it, Jules.
Okay, good. And Beck, you're already light years ahead of everyone, so you're going to be fine. You and Paul sound like Teddy sounds like he's very lucky. So
I hope so. I mean, like Abby said right at the beginning, we're all just trying to do our best, but we just got to make sure that we listen to what the people who know what they're talking about. We got to listen to those people, guys. That's what we got to. That's what we're going to.
And I think keeping in mind, 70%, almost 70% of kids quit playing sports by 13 years old is the stat. Aspen Institute, Project Play, look it up. 70% of, almost 70% quit. And they say the number one reason, it stops being fun. So if we can
So sad. Yeah, joy.
put that,
like you said, joy.
yeah, mark that, mark that. Like that should be always your North Star. Let your kid lead it. Find out if they're loving it. There are so many things in life we can do that we love. Why stick with something you don't love? Or
So true.
build another atmosphere, find another team, go to another sport, right? Like if that club, and you love soccer, but that club's not working out for you, leave. There's other places you can go. Find something that fits you so that, and hopefully we get to a place in this country where we have more clubs, more coaches that understand the development piece of it, which is a whole nother episode, because that we do create a space where kids feel that it's joyful and fun and they're loving it. Because as we know, like sports are such a gift. So we want kids to continue to play.
I love it. Love it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, before you go, can we do a party pose? So at the end of every guest interview that we do, we're going to do a little party pose, which is, it's going to be like a freeze frame. It'll be really fun and cool. So you got to give us your best party pose.
Well, I have to just do what my kid does all the time. Well, hang on. What are yours? Are yours quite like? Can I see?
You'll see.
I just come up with it as like when we count it in. We're going to count it in. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. That was like the thinker.
Yeah, the thinker. That's good.
What the hell?
That's
Nobody
good.
knows. Nobody knows.
Rebecca, hello
Rebecca.
everybody. Thank you so much for coming on.
You are
Love you
always
guys
welcome to the
anytime.
party.
I love it. Good luck. Congrats on the pod. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, I love to party with y'all. It's so fun. How good
She
is
was
that?
so great.
Rebecca's
I love
the
Rebecca
best.
so much. I'm so glad she came way longer than we asked her. So that I just want to special thanks for the extra time.
She's so dang funny too. That woman. Yeah. So good. All right, party people, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome to the Party YouTube channel. And there's that little bell icon next to it that you can, if you click on it, it'll give you updates. It'll give you notifications so you know when we have new episodes coming live.
Yeah. And please, if you could just take 1 minute, it would mean so much to us and I would appreciate it as we build out this community. Just rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Welcome to the Party Show, where Julie, Billy, and I will be bringing the party straight to your feed. We absolutely want to hear from you as well.
Yes.
So on social, or you can even email us.
We got an email.
We got an email, partypeoplequestions@gmail.com.
We're official.
We're official. We want to give the Power to the Party People episodes each month. So send us those questions and then we'll answer them live. And we'll even say your name or your email address if you want us to include that.
Your phone number, your social security number, all of it.
Just let us know what you want us to talk about, what you want us to discuss, questions that you might have for us. We'd love to help you build. You are all helping us build this. And so we love you so much.
And really, like, whether it's your first party, welcome, or you've been to multiple parties, like, the whole idea behind this is that we build out this podcast where there is light. It's light and it's fun and it's celebration and inspiration and all those things we want in life. And to realize how important it is that we have this community here. So party rule number 1, which will always be party rule number 1, though, is we have a shit ton of fun. Boom. Okay, until our next party, let's do our cheer. Abs, count us in.
Bring it in, party people. USA on 3. 1, 2, 3. USA.
Oh!
Welcome to the Party is an independent production brought to you by Treat Media. Treat Media makes art for humans who want to stay human. Forever Dog is our production partner, and you can watch our full conversations on the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel and follow us at Welcome to the Party Show on Instagram and TikTok.